He's getting older.
Bonerama! Oh, hit the full button!
But not wiser.
Pay that man his money!
This is The Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to The Lefty Show. I am your host, Lefty. Glad to be here with all of you today. Monday, happy Monday to everybody out there. The 3rd of November in the year of our Spaghetti Monster 2014. Welcome one, welcome all to The Lefty Show. Hope to put on a good show for you today. Episode number 109. Wowza. Gee. 109 episodes in, we are officially, as we continue forward here with The Lefty Show. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting, subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can go to find the show in its YouTube formation. You can also find some gaming content there. Going to be doing a lot of Advanced Warfare, doing a Let's Play of that campaign, and a bunch of 1080p 60 frames per second content now. Using and abusing, baby. Woo! YouTube's continued or new support of 60 frames per second content at 1080p and up resolution. So go ahead and check that out. Thank you to everybody that's been following me on Twitter at Lefty643, and a sincere thank you to everybody that has been donating, helping out the cause at imraising.com/643 productions. That's imraising.com/643 productions. If you want to help out, that's where you can go. And thank you to everybody that has been sharing the show. You want to help out, you want the show to grow. Well, you can do that by sharing the show with friends, family, and coworkers. You can find the show and its RSS feed wherever you get your podcasts. Just search The Lefty Show for your PC, tablet, or mobile device, Android, iOS, it doesn't matter. Search The Lefty Show. You will be sure to find us there, and you can download all the episodes at your leisure. And it's good. It's good. It's good. It's very good. Hold on, I gotta change some settings here. All right. What was I going to talk about? Advanced Warfare. Just before we get into some other things that I wanted to talk about, a holdover from last week's batch of episodes of The Lefty Show. Advanced Warfare is out today, Day 0 edition available if you have it pre-ordered, out officially, completely, totally, mañana, tomorrow, the 4th of November. I hope I'm not breaking street date by uploading videos. Oh well. Take it, last-ditch effort to build an audience of gaming stuff anyway, so who cares, right? It's out now, and I've been playing it, and I said in a video recently that I've been curiously excited about Advanced Warfare. Curiously excited about it. Because I see what they're doing with the campaign, and they brought in Kevin Spacey, a tremendous actor, to bolster what are usually tremendous cinematic campaigns in the Call of Duty franchise. They are very well done. They are not 50-hour epics, right? You're not getting a Mass Effect experience from the campaign or single-player experience of a Call of Duty game, but you're getting a good action movie. You're getting an 8-hour interactive action movie, essentially. And all right, couple that with competitive multiplayer and a deep multiplayer experience that's rewarding and innovative in the right areas. You got yourself a full-fledged game there, my friend. And I'm cautiously optimistic, like I've said, because as somebody who's played the Call of Duty franchise since 2005, I want to say, or no, 2006 maybe. Somebody who's been a fan of the series, every year that a new Call of Duty comes out, now that it's a yearly franchise, it's not that I feel that I have to get it. It's that I want to experience the newness and I want it to be good. I want to give it a shot, not go jump in with both feet and spend the $150 on like all the DLC that could possibly ever be. And apparently there's paid DLC on the disc, which we got to talk about, Activision. We need to have a little Toxicans about that. But Not that, but buy the base game. And I want to see what it is. And I want it to be good. I don't want it to suck. Who wants to buy a sucky game? There are people who would have you believe that they live for a game sucking. They want it to suck. And if it doesn't suck, well, they're going to try to make it suck. But when I am highly critical of a game or a practice or something, it's because I want it to be better. And I've been highly critical of Call of Duty. And I have shifted away from it slowly these last years, shifted away from it almost completely as a form of content base. But now I've been playing it. I got it digitally late yesterday, played it early this morning and set off a bunch of stuff to render 1080p full 60 frames per second content. And I've got to say, at least from the single player experience, it's a lot of fun and it's very engaging. And that's one of the reasons why, because I knew they were bringing Kevin Spacey to bolster to bring in a new like acting dynamic instead of just incredible set pieces over and over and over again. Well, let's have somebody with some acting chops and let's try to spin a narrative here. And I played it for about 2.5 hours and I enjoy it. Now, that doesn't mean that it's great. That doesn't mean that the series is saved. That doesn't mean that you should go out and buy it right now. And nor does it mean that you shouldn't buy it. It's okay. It's earned continued rotation in my gaming console. And it's earned, I believe, a spot on my channel. Because if I didn't have fun playing it, I would be a lot more hesitant to upload it. If I just felt I was doing it for a job, if I was like, all right, I got to do this because search engine optimization, people are searching this and they'll view it and oh my God. If I felt I was doing that, I wouldn't be as hesitant to upload it, or I would be hesitant to upload it, and I wouldn't have sought it out so quickly. I wouldn't have so quickly pulled the trigger on setting myself up to do 1080p 60 console stuff. I would say, all right, well, somewhere down the road, I'll try to find a 1080p 60, something that can do 1080p 60, a capture card or something like that. But Advanced Warfare was right around the corner, and I had seen what people were doing with it, and I had watched some of the stuff associated with it, some of the previews and stuff, and I thought, okay, let's give this a shot. So plenty of Advanced Warfare content coming your way. Haven't even touched multiplayer. I haven't. That's going to come today, hopefully. I've got this is also going to be perhaps a shortened show, even more so than has been of late. Usually I've been around 50 minutes, which I think is, wow, that's still a lot. But might be a shortened show today because I've got a lot of recording to do, and then I've got to set it up, edit, and set it up to render, and then upload. And then, because I've only got one PC, when it's rendering, I can't do anything else. Which, by the way, if you want to help out, get us to a 2-PC setup, get us on that path, imraising.com/643 productions is where you can go. So, and this is the thing. It's like the show's going to be shortened because I want to play the game. Like, I want to be playing it. And I haven't even touched multiplayer. That's the thing. I want to play and record the campaign because I'm engaged. I want to know what's going on and what's going to happen. There was just a big reveal where I ended my play session last night, and I'm like, holy crap, what's going to happen after this? I don't know. So I want to play, and I want to figure it out. And now I want to touch multiplayer. I want to get into that. I've been watching streams since a couple days ago when it went live, the race, and all these people streaming. Oh, so good. I'll tell you this, and here's the one thing. Here's the thing I really like. The sound is good. The sound mix is good. It sounds great in my headphones. It's not, the gunshot mix sounds very nice, and the rustling of player movement is nicely mixed in, and the whole thing, the whole audio mix is nice for you audiophiles out there. So This is not a review per se of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Day Zero Edition out now today, the 3rd of November, in the year of our spaghetti monster 2014. But I like it so far. I reserve the right to go, oh, wow, you guys messed this up. And again, we still have to talk about, oh, there's going to be zombies behind paid DLC. Okay. Why is it on the disc? If it's on the disc, I gotta, and again, I gotta research to confirm that. But you're getting an early thumbs up for me. I need to play multiplayer, but getting an early thumbs up, at least on console. And I don't know about the PC version. The Call of Duty on PC has been much maligned for many years. I don't know if this is a step in the right direction this year. But as for, I can only speak for console and specifically the PlayStation 4, and I like it. He's scooped. Now I want to talk about something that that I touched on last week, and it came from a discussion of the Pope. Scoozy. Came from the Pope, Super Pope, talking about how the Big Bang Theory and evolution are not diametrically opposed to the teachings of Scripture. Now, the Pope wasn't really saying anything profound. He was saying it more bluntly than had been said in the past, but back to the Pope before John Paul II. I forget his name. But what are we talking? That would be 4 popes ago. There was a guy, the Catholic Church's official stance, if you are one to believe that the Pope gives the official standing of the Catholic Church, one of the largest religions in the world, organized religions in the world. The Pope said, yeah, Big Bang Theory, okay, it's in there. It's not bad. It doesn't directly contradict. Scripture doesn't directly contradict that and this and that and the other thing. And John Paul II reiterated that. Now, Pope Benedict was more of a creationist, not hardcore like we were created 6,000 years ago. But he was more of, well, the idea that we just kind of arose from nothing. We are just we humans are a random occurrence on a random planet in a random part of just a random galaxy and a random local group and a random supercluster. He said, no, there's more divine intervention. Now this Pope Francis, lighten up, Francis, is kind of bringing it back towards, no, God is this benevolent being who just kind of set the universe in motion, which kind of necessitates that the God knew that 14.6 billion years later there would be in this like indiscriminate planet next to a medium-sized star in a nondescript part of a nondescript galaxy, part of a local group, part of a supercluster. Or is it supercluster and then group? I don't know. There will be people. And they'll figure this whole thing out. And I was thinking about that because my point was that this makes religion superfluous because now we can explain the origin of our universe and the way things are. We can explain everything we observe without God because God now is on the other side of a singularity. God now is on the same side, on the same level, at best, as quantum foam or just nothingness. We can't even reason past a singularity, so why even try? It doesn't matter. We can't interact with it. It can't interact with us. Whatever's on the other side, anything, doesn't matter. Could be an intelligent being, something, this, that, the other thing. It's on the other side of a singularity. We can't interact with it, and it can't interact with us. At best, God is the quantum foam now. So we can explain everything we observe with science. We don't need to take up the altar of God and religion and say, well, and belief and say, well, I believe this is why things are. No, we can explain everything we observe with science, with math, with chemistry, with physics, with quantum mechanics. We can explain it all. And we don't need the emotional baggage and all the crap that comes with religion. We don't need that. We don't need the deprecation. We don't need the subservience to something that we can't even see or interact with. We don't need it. We've got science. We've got physical, natural laws. And we adhere to those, and those things explain everything we observe just as easily as Scripture does without all the exceptions. Because if you'll remember, each time there's been a major scientific discovery, heliocentrism, religion had to make an exception to their model. They had to change their model. They say, oh, well, that's an exception. Okay, well, now we change so that, well, okay, God, we really didn't mean that, the Earth was the center of the universe. We didn't really mean that the sun was the center of the universe. We didn't really mean this and that and the other thing. And they've exceptioned themselves to literally outside of our universe. Organized religion has had to make so many exceptions to their model of explaining the universe, explaining what we observe, why we are here, why things are the way they are. They have had to make so many exceptions and even incorporate science that they have moved themselves outside of a singularity. Well, what about over there? Okay, all right. Sure, yeah, you go play on that other side of the singularity. We're just going to use science. That's the best way to observe that's the best model we have because it's not riddled with exceptions because you need to hold on to some book that was passed down as story for centuries. And then through completely unrelated means, I was reading about the People's Temple Agricultural Project, part of the People's Temple, and the People's Eyebrow, and the People's Elbow. Do you smell what the Rock is cooking? No, I don't know what I'm talking about. But the People's Temple was a cult in America in the 70s. Started on the West Coast, had a bunch of influence on the West Coast. They were all over the place, up and down California. San Francisco, LA, they were all over the joint. And they started this agricultural project in South America, which was basically their attempt to start a country. They said, we're going to go do our cult things here. And they started what became colloquially known as Jonestown. And they are the reason. I'll say this, because if you want to Google search and you want to read the Wikipedia article and you want to hear what's called the death tape and you want to hear all that, go ahead. That's on you. I'm not going to relay in graphic detail what happened. But suffice it to say, the People's Temple, at the People's Temple Agricultural Project, or Jonestown, they are the reason that we have the drink the Kool-Aid aphorism. That's the they are the reason. They are responsible, I believe in November of 1978, for the largest single cause of U.S. death, largest single cause of or largest amount of U.S. citizens dying in a single event until September 11th, 2001. 918 people killed themselves because of their perceived religious persecution. They believed they were being persecuted, and they were led by some pastor Jim Jones. Not that Jim Jones. Not the rapper. Although maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's got a cult. I don't know. But this was a different Jim Jones. A white Jim Jones. And he brought his people down to South America and convinced 900 people. Well, a little bit less than 900 because there were kids there. And he convinced the parents to murder their children with some toxic Kool-Aid. I don't think it was actually Kool-Aid. I don't know if they mixed in Kool-Aid, but it was a mix of a bunch of different toxins and a little bit of Valium, and it's not a nice way to go. And it's over the course of a 50-minute long sermon. The cassette for which was found and available, it's up on YouTube, and you can play it through Wikipedia. For 50 minutes, you hear these people talk, and you know during that time, In that exact moment, in that exact space of time where these people were talking and gesticulating and proclamating and doing all the things they do, they were killing themselves and they were killing their family members. 918 people took their lives or were dead because of their little religious thing they got going on, because of their cult. Now tell me, aside from the death, give the People's Temple 4,000 years. Assume they didn't die. Give them, no, not 4,000, give them 500 years. Let's assume the People's Temple was around for 500 years. Would you look at them and go, oh, they wouldn't be a cult anymore. They'd be a religion. Mormonism isn't a cult anymore. It's a religion. Even though it was started by a con man who was like, I'm reading the seer stones, and no, you can't see them either. Ha ha. But this is what they say, and they're the word of God. It's not a cult anymore. They've been around. And they're not violent, they don't kill people, and they don't kill themselves. So, that helps. But they're not a cult anymore. You tell me what the difference is between those people and your Catholics, your Muslims, your Buddhists, your this or that. My point when I talked about the Pope and saying that evolution and the Big Bang Theory are not inconsistent with the teachings of Scripture, the point I wanted to make was that now we can let go of religion because religion isn't good for us anymore. It's not good. And it would be easy to point and say, well, here's why religion is bad. Look at radical Islam. Look at fundamental Muslims. And look at how radical they can be. Look at the violence. Look at the death. Look at ISIS. Look at the Mujahideen. Look at Al-Qaeda. Look at all that. Look at the crazy things Saudi Arabia does. Look at what happens in Iran. And then look at the fundamental, whatever it goes on in India. I think there's the largest Muslim population in the world, if I'm not mistaken. Look at the Muslim, the fundamental Islamic stuff going on there. Go back to the Crusades. Go back to that. Look at what the Palestinians and the Israelis are doing to each other. Look at all the evil that hath wrought. And that would be really easy. That's the low-hanging fruit. No. Religion isn't good for us because of Jonestown. That's why it's not good. Only a few shots were fired because they murdered a representative. The people from Jonestown orchestrated the murder of a United States representative in South America. And then 918 people took their lives. Convinced. Religion as being bad for society is born not from the imagery or the optics of fundamentalists, radical fundamentalists. That's not it. It's born from the people like Jonestown. The cultish, weird thing. Branch Davidians was one. The Branch Davidians, now, the government had no cause to. There's a legal issue there too, which, when you're going after David Koresh and then you just start firebombing them because he just won't come outside. What the hell? Oh, they shot at us. Really? What? Where? Where are the bullets? Oh, we don't know. Grr. Firebomb them. There's a problem there. But the Branch Davidians, the church in I believe it was the 90s. I forget their name. They bought a mansion in California. And there were like 30 of them, and they just killed themselves one night. They just said, oh, yeah, we're going on this tollway thing. There's a meteor coming, and behind... Oh, no, am I mixing that with Scientology? Anyway, they think they're going to pay some, like, cosmic toll, and so they had, like, some exact amount of change in their pocket. And it was a ritualistic suicide. That's evidence of why religion isn't good, and it's right there. But those are cults. Those are cults. No, that's religion. That's religion. Not all religions, and please don't confuse this message with saying that all religion tells people to kill one another or kill themselves. No, I'm talking about what you can do when you offer the things that religion offers. When you offer, when you say, when you make people believe, when you prey on the insecurities and the fears of others and you convince them that you can offer salvation or you can offer everlasting life in the form of an afterlife or this or that, when you prey on that, that's what you look at what you can make people do. You can make them go to war, or you can make them all the way from war to go to kill other people, innocent people, to behead them, all the way from that down to killing your infant child and injecting it, spraying in its mouth a concoction that you know will kill it. That's the power of religion. Religion isn't good. If we want to win existence, if we want to win it, if we want to be around for more than however long the earth is going to be a sustainable planet for our way of life or for our carbon-based life, we need to win existence. And that means a couple centuries from now, maybe a millennia from now, we need to be without religion. If we want to travel the cosmos, we want to master the solar system, colonize the solar system and beyond, to infinity and beyond. If we really want to do that, religion isn't going to play a part. It can't. It can't do it because it always has the power to make people do crazy things. Money can make people do crazy things. It does all the time. But it doesn't always have that propensity. Religion, time and again throughout history, does. And it does in the most subversive way, by offering salvation, by offering freedom from one of humanity's most basic instincts, one of our base fears, the fear of the unknown, the fear of death. Religion supposedly offers salvation from that, and it preys on people. Probably better for the gene pool that those 918 people are dead. Probably overall, when you look at Jonestown, probably better for the gene pool, because if those people had the mental fortitude such that they could be convinced that spraying the infants with the Kool-Aid that'll kill them is somehow good for them or for their religion or for whatever, we're probably better off with them. But they didn't have a choice, and they didn't have a chance. They had no chance. They got him. Religion came in, whoop, they got him. They're done. ISIS rampaging now throughout the Middle East. I don't think those people had a chance. I think they honestly believe in what they're saying. They honestly believe it. They've been so indoctrinated with fundamental Islam, with radical Islam, that they can't help but feel the need to be violent as retribution for these things that they believe. It's become real to them, all these crazy things. They never had a chance in the world. It's not by choice. They're not necessarily evil. They're nitwits who were promised, hey, you're scared of dying, right? Yeah, that's pretty messed up. Well, I've got this great thing called religion. And if you do these things, if you believe these things, well, that fear you have in your head sometimes, well, you don't need to, you can, if you honestly believe the things that I'm about to tell you, you can just tell that voice to piss right off, because you know that after that thing that you're really scared of is good things. And they convince themselves of it, and then everything they do becomes really easy. And it starts and ends with Jonestown. It starts and ends with the crazies in the mansion in California. Starts and ends with those people. You look at Scientology, right? You laugh at Scientology. Everybody does. Look at this fanatical cult. Look at how they do, and look at how they treat people that kind of wise up and go, wait a minute, what's going on here? This is craziness. Well, get out of here. Look at how they treat that. It's a cult, right? Yeah. Okay, everybody thinks it's a cult. Give Scientology 500 years. Give them 1,000. Might they have a pope? Scoozy. Let's do some news. All right, let's get into some an abbreviated portion of the news today. The news out of Colorado: no Halloween pot poisonings in Denver, hospitals say. Fears that trick-or-treaters here might end up with, this is Dateline Denver, fears that trick-or-treaters here might have ended up with marijuana-laced candy on Halloween appear to have been overblown. Children's Hospital Colorado reported no instances of accidental pot poisonings from Friday night. The Denver Police Department last month warned parents to be on the lookout for marijuana candies, in large part because they are virtually identical, it's News with Lefty, in appearance to candies available from grocery stores. And some edibles makers simply buy commercially available candies and spray or inject them with marijuana oil. While edibles have been available for years under Colorado's medical marijuana system, the January 1st legalization of recreational sales has spurred an explosion in their consumption. Some stores report that 40% of their sales come from edibles, with the rest of the marijuana flower or bud, hash, and other THC-containing products. Before Halloween, the marijuana industry scoffed at parents' fears and said the vast majority of users are responsible adults who would never actually do something so stupid as to confuse the two or deliberately hand out expensive pot candy. Afterward, they mourned the deaths of multiple trick-or-treaters killed by vehicles on Friday night. Here's the thing, and I think this is a cycle. I think this is, or put differently, I think this is more of a process. Marijuana in Colorado right now is going through a process where people are going to treat it, they're still going to try to treat it like reefer madness. They're still trying to treat it like that. Never mind the fact that alcohol does kind of the same things, is probably a lot worse for you for chronic use overall, and is only mildly regulated and available for consumption of people past a certain age, and nobody's going to say boo to you if you go buy a handle of Jack. You go to buy a handle of Jack, or you're holding a Jack and Coke while you answer the door for trick-or-treaters, nobody's going to say anything. They're going to say, oh, wow, what kind of, is that Gentleman Jack or just the regular stuff? Or da-da-da-da-da. Nobody's going to say anything. But you're smoking a joint or you're high. Oh, well, got to be careful, got to be careful. They might try to get you with their evil pot candies. Has there ever been a worry ever that somebody at a party is going to start mixing in booze with the drinks? Like, has there ever been a worry that, you know, you go to a party, a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese or something, and with the availability of alcohol, it could very easily be that somebody starts pouring alcoholic beverages into the fountain drinks. Oh my God. Oh, we got to worry. Let's be on call. Let's get doctors on call just in case that they show up with poisoning alcohol. Oh my God. No, it's never happened. Why? Because, well, one, booze is expensive. Two, you believe that the people that buying it or are able to buy it are rational adults and not sociopaths that are going to try to hurt people. And three, alcohol isn't viewed as evil necessarily. Once you couple it with driving, well, that changes things. But everybody drinks for the most part. And it's just, yeah, I drink and I'm responsible about it. And I wouldn't give it to my children and I wouldn't give it to other children. I wouldn't try to hurt people with it. Why? You make a lot of money that way. But a competing product, let's say, in the recreational altering of brain chemistry, because that's what drinking is and that's what smoking marijuana is, recreationally altering your brain chemistry so that you get to a different plane of existence, could be higher, lower, doesn't matter. You just like it. Well, there's a competing product now, marijuana. It's cheap, there's a lot of it, and it's not as bad as alcohol. Oh my God, they might be putting it in a candy on Halloween. We're just dumb. Can we just, it's legal, shut the hell up about it. Nobody, and really, okay, some guy hands out pot brownies. What's going to happen to a kid? They're going to start giggling, and they're going to eat their candy, and then they're going to go the hell to sleep. Pot poisoning. Get the hell out of here. Has there ever been a reported case ever in the history of marijuana usage? Has anybody ever overdosed or become otherwise poisoned and medically harmed by marijuana? I don't know. That's an honest question. I have heard that there has never been an overdose of any kind with regards to marijuana. But what about just harmed medically? Not like they went out and got hit by a bus, but by virtue of their consumption of marijuana, they got messed up. And not by the introduction of other chemicals in the marijuana. I'm talking about like just the same as you drink too much alcohol and you throw up or you black out or you hurt yourself. You know, your liver starts shutting down, this and that. Is there anything? We need let's short circuit this process, huh? How about we just stop pretending that marijuana is still this evil thing that we need to be incredibly wary of? How about this? Let's just start calling it solid alcohol. Let's call it solid alcohol or something like that. Salcohol. Let's call it that. Because it does kind of the same stuff. No hangover. And is it chemically addictive? I don't think that's ever been shown, but okay. It's got pretty much the same high without the lows, without the fun. Damn, pot sounds awesome. Let's stop pretending that it's any worse than alcohol. We need to remove this stigma. Stop with bullcrap stories. No Halloween pot poisonings in Denver, hospital says. If I'm the editor, I say, who cares? Duh, of course not. The article title should be, duh, nobody poisoned anybody with pot on Halloween. Shut up, you bunch of outrageous douchebags. All right, in other story, I'm one to highlight hypocrisy. I'm one to, and surely I've been hypocritical myself on this show. But with the recent, there's been a lot of gender issue things in the news, specifically Gamergate and the video of a woman being, quote, harassed in New York City just walking around. And there's been a lot of gender talk and a lot of, oh, well, you know, this and that and the other thing. And what are we going to do about men harassing women? Well, what about women harassing men? What are you talking about? That never happens. Well, what about this guy who's a model walking down the street with the same hidden GoPro setup and then women are accosting him? What about that? Is that harassment? Oh, well, humana. This is a story from USA Today. Lena Dunham is angry about sex abuse accusations. Lena Dunham is mad. Oh, crap. She's angry that some stories in her memoir, Not That Kind of Girl, which came out in September, are being highlighted and questioned. Oh, stop using my words against me! BuzzFeed lays it all out. What's at issue are passages in the girl's star's book in which she details some early sexual/body experimentation with her sister, Grace. National Review writer Kevin Williamson describes it as sexual abuse, adding that the sort of thing that gets children taken away from non-millionaire families without Andover pedigrees and Manhattanite social connections. Dunham writes of casually masturbating while in bed next to her younger sister, of bribing her with 3 pieces of candy if I could kiss her on the lips for 5 seconds. Anything a sexual predator might do to woo a small suburban girl, I was trying. That's Lena Dunham. That's what she says. 3 pieces of candy if I could kiss her on the lips for 5 seconds. Anything a sexual predator might do to woo a small suburban girl, I was trying. Those are her words. And in another passage noted by truthrevolt.org writer Bradford Thomas, Dunham writes of looking at her sister's private parts. The headline says Dunham sexually abused her sister. What it refers to is Dunham writing about a time her sister had stuck pebbles in her vagina while they were playing in their Long Island driveway as little girls. Dunham made the discovery of the pebbles and shrieked. As the 2 stories began to go viral over the weekend, Dunham took to Twitter to refute the accusations, saying the right-wing news that I molested my little sister isn't just LOL, it's really effing upsetting and disgusting. She said the writer shouldn't twist her words. She also said, and by the way, if you had a little kid and never looked at another little kid's vagina, well, congrats to you. And here's the thing. All I want to know, I love this game. I want this game show. Imagine somebody else did it. Reverse both genders. In the case of casually masturbating in front of her sister and trying to pay her to, look at, I believe that there's another passage where she talks about looking at her vagina multiple times, not just the pebble incident, paying her to kiss her, this and that. Reverse both genders. It's a guy who's masturbating in front of his brother, right? And then he's trying to touch his Johnson and then trying to pay his brother to kiss him. Now just reverse one gender. Just imagine it's a guy masturbating in front of his sister, a kid, right? Masturbating in front of his sister, and then trying to touch her vagina or touching her vagina and writing explicitly about it in this book where it's like, hey, look at this outrageous stuff I did. Would he have any standing to go out in public and say, stop lambasting me for the outrageous things I said I did? No, people are like, well, you said it, you dumbass. What do you want? But special prissy pants Lena Dunham writes about almost sexually abusing her sister, which in certain contexts, what the physical acts she wrote about could certainly be viewed as sexual abuse. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it that what she wrote, if true, could be, under certain contextual circumstances, be considered sexual abuse. And where do you think that line is with respect to Lena Dunham and just Joe Blow dude? Yeah, I was masturbating in front of my sister. I was 7 years old. Oh, why are you writing about sexually abusing your sister? What are you talking about? When it's Lena Dunham, it's sexual experimentation. It's just, oh my God, my body's got these things. Let's see what they do. But I guarantee you it's a guy. They go, oh, well, he's sexually abusing. You need to go away from him. Get him out of here. He's got problems. Send him to camp. Send him to social workers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe, just like the chick walking in NYC for a couple hours, and just like the model walking around in NYC for a couple hours, maybe none of it is harassment. And just like this, maybe Lena Dunham didn't sexually abuse her sister. No, she was a little kid exploring her body. Like, hey, what's all this stuff do? I'm a kid. I'm just a kid. What does this do? Hey, you've got that too. What does that do? Duh. We've all done it. And I want the same card played. I want to have this card in my pocket. I'll put it in my wallet where I can come out if there's another story ever like this, where a guy writes about how he just experimented sexually, or he was exploring sexually when he was a little child. I want to be able to pull out this card. It's like, it's not sexual abuse. It's not weird. It's not wrong because he's just writing about his sexual exploration and just exploring his body and learning about these new things. I want that. Because if Lena Dunham gets to play this card, the next guy who's accused of sexually abusing a sibling needs to be able to pull this card out too. Because Lena Dunham doesn't deny it. Yeah, I did these things. Okay. I don't think it's sexual abuse, but I better not hear that somebody, a male who did the same thing, is guilty of sexual abuse either. All right, let's bring it home. Woo! Another great episode of The Lefty Show. I thank you all for joining. I had a great time putting on the show for you. I hope you had a great time listening. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting, subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can find the show in its YouTube formation. You can also find some great video gaming content. Advanced Warfare out now, 1080p, 60 frames per second. Lock it in right here, YouTube.com/LeftyOX. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Likes are appreciated. Thank you to everybody for following me on Twitter @Lefty643. Stay up to date on all the latest and greatest Lefty Show news. Thank you to everybody that's been donating. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. Help out the show monetarily with I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. That's I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. Thank you to everybody that's been sharing the show, helping the show grow, sharing it with friends, family, and co-workers. Find the show and its RSS feed wherever you get your podcasts. Android, iOS, it doesn't matter. Just search The Lefty Show. You'll be able to find us there. Anyway, guys, it's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you next time. I'm out. Peace. Everybody has affinity for cock.